Cosatu members are this morning descending on the union buildings in Pretoria. Leaders will hold a sit-in there while workers protest over several issues, including corruption and job losses. Newsroom Africa's Malungelo Boy is there for us and joins us. Malungelo, very good morning to you. What's happening on the ground?
That's right, Mpo. In fact, we're starting to see the Cosatu CEC members starting to gather here outside the union buildings as they prepare themselves really to go inside to demand, in fact, responses from government on a litany of issues that the Trade Union Federation has raised over the past few years. In fact, some of the issues they raised in October, where they marched to the office of the Finance Minister. Let's just touch on some of those issues that they raised. I mean, one of the things that they want government to do is to respect collective bargaining agreements and workers' rights. They're also talking about corruption, which we know is rampant in this country. And they say that corruption is actually also leading to the job losses that we're currently seeing in some sectors of this country. I quickly want to bring in Bekin Chalinjali, who's Cosatu Secretary General. So thank you so much for your time. I mean, I looked at the issues that you raising into government again today. These are not new issues. You've raised these issues before. Is government giving you a middle finger?
That's what we are here to put to an end. We want to express to government that the culture of not responding shows a government that is not responsible. Irrespective of the response itself, but the culture of just getting a memorandum and you just throw them in the dustbin, our Central Executive Committee said it must come to an end. In that response, that's why we said we're going to come here. Initially wanted to talk to the President. Want to find out, is it the capacity, what is it that makes somebody fail to acknowledge a memorandum, which we think is an easy thing to do. And that's why you are here.
I mean, part of what you raised and you have raised in the past is the issue that government needs to respect the decisions taken in bargaining council agreements and workers' rights. And one of the things that you have been vocal about is the issue of this pay hike freeze that government says we can't simply afford it.
We want to express to the government representative here that in the principle of social dialogue, you can't take a unilateral decisions. Government is a member state of the ILO. They have ratified collective bargaining and many other conventions. We can't just sit back and say because the democratic government, we're not going to take what it needs. We said if we have to go to court and force our government, we will do that. If we have to go to the ILO and report their behavior, we'll do that one. If we have to go to the marches and protest, we'll do that one. But we want to come to government and make it loud and clear that we cannot accept what government is doing in many respects.
But government has said, though, with this issue of increments, that they simply don't have money. Where must the money come from? And I'm asking you, where must the money come from?
The issue is not about where the money come from. The issue are principles. If you got difficulties, whatever difficulties you have to respect that you have an agreement. An agreement is valid. You must call negotiations well in advance because you don't just wake up and say there's no money and therefore you literally do as you please. Collective bargaining suggests you need to come to the table, put all the issues, be transparent, indicate why there's no money and why is money for that, but there's no money for wages. Workers are under attack here. We see this is a battle just beyond the collective bargaining. But look, beside that, the other issues that we raised was the question of corruption.
Sure.
What will make government, whose president says, I'm prepared to fight corruption, why he can't respond and says, together here on the issue of fighting corruption, we are together. So that's why we think it's not about the contents, it's about the culture of uncaring government.
You also talk about the issue of health and safety committees in all workspaces. One would assume this is happening.
Not to the full extent. There are some limitation in the occupational health and safety in terms of what workers can do. For example, the right to refuse dangerous work is not explicit in the law. And we're saying if government is interested to the saving life in the workplace, they must be the one that says we have heard you, we need to put a legislation and we must fast track that one. Just to keep silence, that's what we are going to end it up here. We call it we must I mean, we said we must stop that kind of behavior.
I quickly want to get your reaction, though, on from what we heard from the president last night, putting, the Nelson Mandela Bay being described as coronavirus hotspots, and of course the curfew and restrictions in terms of alcohol when it's sold. What's your thinking or your thoughts about that?
I think they're very late. I mean, the signs were there, but government, as they did with our response, they took so long. I mean, the signs were there. People were saying the beds become fewer and fewer. Why they did not do what if they have taken an initiative, some kind of response, be able to be vocal before even you go to the lockdown that they are talking about it. I mean, we're in level 1, why they could not have gone to level 2 or level 3 and minimize these things. It's not only Nelson Mandela. I think Nelson Mandela is now, blown out. But if you look what is happening even here in Gauteng in terms of the human behavior, I think they're supposed to go all out in every place and say, we need to do something in relation. So we appreciate that they've done rather than not doing it at all, but it's late.
Do you think it's a ticking time bomb, what we're seeing in the Nelson Mandela Bay?
Exactly. I mean, there's no doubt about that one. People are going to be going on holidays. They're going to see the question of people cross borders and doing this thing. When they go to holidays, those are going to be, infected. When they come back here, they are going to be bringing the disease with them because we know the disease is carried by people. We are in a serious situation. I think the command center needs to think more strategically what needs to be done. How do we use the lockdown period as well, shutting down for December, so that when we open, we're in a better situation.
All right, so thank you so much for your time. Beki Nchali, he's the Secretary General of Cosatu.